Moving over to the next matchup here in the welterweight division, we got Jonathan Micallef coming in at minus 130 going up against Elliott, who comes in at plus 110. Now, this was a matchup that was actually scheduled for back in September, but I believe a fight day illness to Elliott pulled him out of the matchup, and now they're being rescheduled for this weekend. Now, Micallef is coming off of a solid debut victory over Kevin Jousset. Solid in the fact that, it didn't really look like he struggled through the first 2 rounds, but it was quite a boring fight. He utilized a ton of lateral movement and just stayed at kicking range where he could land enough kicks against Jousset and cause him frustration. But Jousset was able to catch up a little bit in the third round. Unfortunately, it was too little, too late for him by then, and Micallef was able to get the win by decision. That is a far cry from the style that we saw him implement in his Contender Series matchup, where he took the striker Mohamed Ado to the ground, eventually got that submission, and was able to put him out cold. That's usually what Micallef looks to do. He looks to utilize his physicality and his strength with his BJJ game and his grappling to really just thwart opponents on the ground, muzzle them on the ground, and just have that major success from that top position. He's strong, he's physical, he's pretty big for the weight class as well, and that's where you see him try to utilize that physicality to better his opponents. Maybe we see him start to lean more on that mobile striking style so he can mix in his grappling behind it, but we'll see if he's able to do that here against Elliott, who is a solid grappler in his own right. Now, Elliott is coming off of a loss against Suk-Hyung Ko in a fight where he was a pretty big favorite, but couldn't get off on much success of his own. After a few failed takedown attempts early, Ko started to command that fight with his power striking and eventually his own grappling, and it seemed to break Elliott around that second round, and from there it was just smooth sailing for the Korean fighter to hand Elliott the first loss of his UFC career. Elliott's a fun fighter. He's a talented fighter. He's only 28 years old, so I think that's going to be a great learning experience for him. Normally we see him utilizing a smother grappling approach, trying to keep his opponent on their back, trying to just smother them, maybe find some finishes if he can as well. And he can really turn it up a notch in deeper water, especially if the fight's going his way earlier on. Seeing him break against Ko was a little bit discouraging, especially as such a big favorite. But again, I think that's going to be a big learning lesson for this fighter, only at 28 years old. And I think we'll see him continue to get better as he starts to fight more stiffer competition. Grappling, good cardio, good top pressure, good chain wrestling, improving striking as well. Elliott has all the tools. It's now all about applying it. And I think he has a good shot of applying it here against Jonathan Micallef. Now, when these two were originally scheduled to fight each other back in September, Elliott closed, or at least until the fight got canceled, as a minus 120 favorite. Now, for some reason, after he pulled out due to an illness, he finds himself down at plus 110. I don't know if it has to do with this fight taking place in Australia, which I can't recall off the top of my head, but I think the last one was also in Australia. But still, Elliott now the underdog compared to being the slight favorite when they were scheduled the first time. So I already liked Elliott at minus 120, so obviously I like him here at plus 110. I feel like he'll be able to kind of shut down that mobile striking game of Micallef, and if this gets into the grappling realm, I think Elliott is the better scrambler, and that can help him accrue a little bit more top time and get off on some more damage here. I'd be surprised if Elliott gets stuck at distance the way that Jousset did against Micallef. So I fully expect Elliott to just get the better of Micallef in most instances. This could play out close, but I'm going to have to lean on Elliott as I think he's a little bit more well-rounded and will get the better of the grappling exchanges as well. So give me Elliott and Elliott by decision.